Here are the 10 biggest video games releases this May 2023. Number 1. Star Trek Resurgence. Given the popularity of Star Trek on streaming services, it's honestly a surprise there aren't more Star Trek games. However, the developers at Dramatic Labs hope to make up for quantity with quality. Taking place not long after Star Trek, The Next Generation, Resurgence focuses on First Officer Jara Rydek and Ensign Carter Diaz while they try to stop two civilizations from going to war with each other. Resurgence aims to be a true representation of classic Star Trek adventures, which means a fair amount of focus on solving conflicts through diplomacy. However, while Dramatic Labs is made up of former Telltale developers, Resurgence aims to mix in exploration and combat too. Though not a lot of gameplay has been shown for Resurgence, hopefully, fans are able to enjoy another great Star Trek title after so many years on the shelf. Depend on it. Number 2. WrestleQuest. The developers at Mega Cat Studios might have one of the coolest ideas on their hands with WrestleQuest. A love letter to 80 seconds wrestling, players take their character from rookie to main eventer in this gorgeous pixel art RPG. Players will travel to parts unknown, facing everything from monsters to masked luchadors in their journey. Along the way, they'll run into renditions of actual wrestling legends like Macho Man Randy Savage, Jake the Snake, and more, learning everything they can to become masters of the squared circle.
Successful 1, 2, 3 count, but don't miss. Your opponent can...
Number 3. System Shock. Like many games, the System Shock remake has seen a number of delays, but is seemingly only weeks away now. Rebuilt from the ground up with new visuals, modern controls and UI, and more, this game is shaping up to be a major part of May for any fans of BioShock or other immersive sim games. In System Shock, the player has one goal, defeating SHODAN, a malevolent artificial intelligence who's forcibly transformed the people of Citadel Station into cyborgs. With her intending to lay waste to Earth, the player will have to fight their way through everyone on the station if they plan on saving humanity.
I iterate. I fuse flesh.
Number 4. After Yes. Previously known for their work on the acclaimed Arise, a simple story, the developers at Piccolo have teamed up with 2 Kelvin Games to bring fans another game from 2 Kelvin's private division, this time known as After Us. After Us is set in a world after humanity, and most of life on Earth have been wiped out. In this world, players take on the role of Gaia herself. As the spirit of life, Gaia travels to learn the stories of the last animals of the world, returning their souls to Mother's Ark for a chance at rebirth. Along the way, she is challenged by enemies known as Devourers, enemies searching to destroy what remains of life on the planet. Number 5. LEGO 2 Kelvin Drive. What's a year without another great licensed game from LEGO? Well, fans don't have to worry about asking that question, because 2 Kelvin Games teamed up with developer Visual Concepts Entertainment to bring fans LEGO 2 Kelvin Drive, an open-world racing game. The title takes place in the world of Bricklandia, where players can create their ultimate race car before challenging their friends to see who's the fastest. LEGO 2K Drive will also feature a story mode, where players start out as a relative nobody, aiming to one day defeat Shadow Z and earn the Sky Trophy. With ample areas to explore in the game's open world, plus access to transforming cars and classic LEGO customization, 2 Kelvin Drive is exactly the kind of game the genre needs to break from the usual sim titles.
Come on!
Number 6. Endless Dungeon. On May 18th, Sega and Amplitude Studios released their twin-stick shooter Endless Dungeon. Announced 3 years ago during the Game Awards, Endless Dungeon features characters trying to survive aboard an abandoned space station. Across 10 procedurally generated levels, it's the player's job to protect a crystal bot that will help them get to new levels. While this game was built from the ground up to be a multiplayer game, the game will also allow players who prefer to work alone to play single player. One part of the Endless Space universe, Endless Dungeon will hopefully continue to improve on the franchise like most games in the series.
Oh, that's a good start.
Number 7. The Legend of Zelda, Tears of the Kingdom. On May 12th, one of the most anticipated games of the year finally launches. Zelda is already one of Nintendo's best franchises, but The Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild was a groundbreaking game for Nintendo and open-world games. While Tears of the Kingdom might not be able to reach those heights, just offering fans more time to spend in the incredible world crafted by the first game will be more than enough for most. That said, the game won't be a carbon copy. Nintendo hasn't shown much of this game, but what is known is that Link will have a number of abilities available to him that will drastically alter his traversal and combat. If the rest of the game is as cool as the little shown thus far, this will easily make it into Game of the Year discussions. Number 8. Fuga Melodies of Steel 2. CyberConnect 2 releases its latest game, Fuga Melodies of Steel 2, on May 11th. A sequel to the 2021 Fuga, The Melodies of Steel, this new tactical RPG takes place a year after the original game. Once again, a collection of children continue their fight against the twisted Burman Empire, relying on the power of the Tyranny's tank. This title exists for both fans of challenging JRPG games and for fans of Super Robot anime, as the Tyrannies feels reminiscent of Mecha right out of the 70 seconds and 80 seconds anime. The second in a planned trilogy, Melodies of Steel 2 is sure to test players on just how far they're willing to go to make sure their entire crew survives.
As a leader, endowing him with different leader skills. Gauge the enemy and command your crew as the situation demands.
Number 9. Age of Wonders 4. The popular 4X game Age of Wonders is back with its latest installment. After the sci-fi adventures of the last game, Age of Wonders: Planetfall, this latest title takes things back to the high fantasy settings of the older titles. In this world, the powerful wizard kings have escaped imprisonment and look to conquer new realms. Like any good 4X game, players will build their own empires through combat, alliances, and deception to fight back. With the game promising revolutions in its storytelling event system and the ability to create custom realms, Age of Wonders 4 looks like it'll be a must-play for 4X fans.
And crush those who rise against you.
Number 10. Redfall. Microsoft's next major AAA title comes out of Arcane Studios Austin, with the open-world first-person shooter title, Redfall. Redfall takes place in the town of Redfall, Massachusetts, after a collection of vampires conquer the city. Using their mysterious powers, they lock off the town from the rest of reality, leaving the humans remaining at their whims. Players are given the option to control one of 4 different survivors, each with their own abilities, to try and take back their home. Originally viewed as a Left 4 Dead clone, the gameplay has shown the title resembles more of a multiplayer, supernatural Far Cry.
There is no death for us.
It's the 4 of us against the darkness.
Stuttering.
No matter how many you kill,